Hello everyone. In this video I'll talk about first missing positive integer. So in this problem you will be given an array of n numbers and you have to find the first positive integer that is not present in the array. So to understand the problem better, let's solve a few examples. Let's say you're given an array of 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. What is the first missing positive integer? It is 6, right? So you start searching from 1, 2, 3 and so on. So in the second example, you have -1, -2, -3, -7, -9. So what is the first missing positive integer? It is 1. So in the next example, you have 4, 5, 6, 9 and 12. Still here, you don't have 1 in this array, right? That means you will always start searching from 1 because 1 is the first positive integer. So you will always start searching from 1. If 1 is there, then you go and search for 2. If 2 is there, then 3. If one of these is not there at any point of time, that will be the output. So here 1 is not there, so 1 is the output. So let's see the last example. So you have 1 here, right? 2 here, yes. 3, you don't have 3. So 3 will be the output. Okay. So now let's say you have an array of size n. How many positive integers can you fit in this array? So you can obviously not fit more than 5, right? So let's see a case when you have all 5 positive integers present in the input array. In that case, the first positive integer that is missed is 6. Okay. Now, if you talk about any general array, if you are given an array of n elements and if you have all the elements 1 to n in the array, then your output will be n plus 1. So can it be more than n plus 1? There is no way, right? Because when you say x is the first missing positive integer, that means all the elements from 1 to x minus 1 are present in the array. Okay, so an array of size n can hold only n positive integers, right? So the first positive integer that is missed can be at max n plus 1, because let's say in this case I'm saying that it is not possible to get the answer as 7 or anything or 7 or anything more than 7, because if you have to place any other element other than these 5, we have to replace one of them and keep some other element. All right, in the same way, let's replace something else and put some bigger number. As you can see, when you have to place a new number, you are replacing one of the numbers from 1 to 5, right? So that's the reason the maximum possible first missed positive integer can be n plus 1. This will be the extreme case. In all the other cases, one of the numbers between 1 to n will be missing, right? If you can see in this array, so you don't have 1 here, so 1 will be the output of this problem. Okay, so if you talk about any general array, so it boils down the problem to, given an array of size n, what is the first positive integer from 1 to n that is missing, right? You can directly search in that way. So what can be what can be various approaches to solve this problem? One thing is, take the input array and let's iterate from 1 to n, and if one of, say for example, you start with 1, you will search the entire array for 1. For 2, you will search the entire array for 2. For 3, you will search the entire array for 3. Whenever you don't find one particular element in this sequence, that will be the output. For I is equal to 1 to n, if I not present, return I. Okay. So what is the time complexity of this particular approach? It is actually order of n square, because for every I you are searching the entire array of size n. For n times you are searching the complete array. So it is of order n square. So let's see if we can bring down this time complexity as we have already mentioned. So our problem is to find which is the first integer among 1 to n that is missing in the array. So what if we have a hash set, okay, and let's say I iterate I is equal to 1 to n, I iterate add elements to hash set, okay. Now again I iterate I is equal to 1 to n if I is not in hash set, return I, okay. I hope it is clear here. So what's happening here is you're actually iterating the complete array 2 times. So this particular part takes order of n, this particular part takes order of n, and you're actually using a hash set of size n. So here you're making a space time trade-off. You're bringing down the time complexity from order of n square to order of n by using a hash set of size n, right? So in this case the time complexity is order of n plus order of n, which is order of n. Now can we do this in constant space, like without using any additional space? Let's see this approach, okay. So let's say I'm using these for position numbers and indices are 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I just need to find which among 1 to 5, because array is of size 5, 1 to 5 is missing in my input array, right? So what I can do is, can I modify the existing array based upon positions such that it gives me the idea which is missing, which element is missing? Because see, the positions are from 1 to 5, and I also have to find the integers that are missing from in between range 1 to 5, right? So what if, let's say, okay, one more thing is we are only interested in finding the elements from 1 to 5. So any element greater than 5 or any element less than 1 are actually useless for us, right? So let's ignore them. For that purpose, let's make them 0 and see now, okay. Now say for example I start reading this array, I commit 4, so it is saying element 4 is present. So my element 4, okay, let's modify this input a bit, okay. So element 5 is present here. So let's say I want to use a flag at position 5 which says that my element 5 is present. So as I have seen 5, I will use that in this position. Let's say I want to use a flag of -1, okay, and the next elements are 0 and 0, so they are not actually giving us any other information, and the next element is 1, which means that element 1 is actually present in the array. So let's use a flag at position 1, right? Our flag is -1, let's use -1 here. So now comes the problem. Now if you go to the last element, it is actually saying 2 is present, but we have modified it, right? So in this case, once you are modifying the array, you're actually not able to retrieve what is the older value present. So you have to modify it in a way such that you will still able to retrieve the existing old value, okay. So for this purpose, what I'm saying is we have modified this particular array to this form, okay, so that we'll only have elements from 1 to 5 along with zeros. what if I add some element greater than n, say for example 6, to one of these elements? So it will make, say for example I'm adding 6 to say 1, so it will be like 6 plus 1, right? So it doesn't matter how many times you have added 6, if you actually again do a mod on this particular value after modification, you will still be able to retrieve 1. Okay, that actually gives us the older value of the array. So let's see what happens now. So 5 is present, so 5 is actually taken by index 4. So that means the element in index 4 I'm actually increasing by 6. So this will become 8, right? And next I'm reading the next second element, which is 0. It is not giving me any information. Next element is 0. It is not giving me any information. Next element is 1. That means I have to flag my position 1. So what I'm doing is I will go to position 1. It has already 5 there. I will modify the existing value by adding 6 here. So I'll have 6 plus 5, which is 11, right? Now comes the best part. Now I go to 6. Now if I have to find what is the existing value, I can in one step I can find a modulus of 6, and then that will give me the old value. Why this is actually working? It's because all the elements in the array now are actually less than 6. So adding 6 n number of times will always give a residue which is the older value when you do a mod, right? So for example, let's take a generic number 6a plus b. B is the old value. So if you add 6 a number of times, and if you do a mod with 6, you will still be able to retrieve the value of p. So that's what is working in our case, right? Now, okay, now let's see what happens. So these other positions are not changed. Okay, so the position number 2, okay, once you do a modulus with 6 for 8, you will get a value 2. That means the position 2 will be incremented by 6, right? And this is 1. Position 4, there is no number 4, there is no 4 present in the array, so that position number is not at all incremented. Okay, so this will be my final array after doing these manipulations. Now if I traverse and check if the element is more than n, in this case more than 5, so that means you have actually found this element somewhere and you have incremented this particular index position. That means say index 0 has value 11, it is more than 5, and index 0 means it points to number 1. So that means 1 was seen here, isn't it? We have seen 1 here. Similarly, index at position 2, the value is more than 5, which means I have seen 2 here. Now I come to position 3, the value is less than 5, less than or equal to 5, which means I have not seen this element in the array, and so it is not incremented by 6. So this is the first missing positive integer now. So the output will be 3, right? So yeah, that will give me the output. So if you consider the steps for I is equal to 1 to n, if a dot get of I is less than 0 or less than or greater than n, I will make it as set I will make it as 0. I'm actually not following proper syntaxes, it is just a pseudocode kind of thing. Okay. In the next step, what I'm doing is I have to retrieve the element L is equal to a get of I, and you have to remember one thing, because you might have manipulated this particular I position when you have seen an element I, so you have to take a modulus of n plus 1, right? So that gives me what is the actual old value present in the array, right? And I will modify with existing value, which is like a dot get of LE minus 1 plus n plus 1, isn't it? Right. Because say for example you have found 2, for 2 is actually indexed at 1, right? So I'm going to the position 1 and I'm retrieving the old value at position 1 and I'm incrementing by n plus 1. Now once I have done all these things, so this is also for I is equal to n to n, second step is also for, now comes the third step, for I is equal to 1 to n, if a dot get of I less than n plus 1 return I, right? So this will give me the proper output. Let's see the time complexity here. You are actually iterating the array 3 times, okay? It is of order of n and you are not using any additional space, so it is constant space, right? Thank you so much.